Good morning everyone and Sairam. How are you all? I hope you all are fine and preparing and studying for your exam. So, in this video, we are going to start our new chapter, chapter number 13, Sound. Chapter number 13, Sound. So, what we are going to learn in this chapter? What we are going to learn in this chapter? We are going to learn how is sound produced. Sounds needs a medium to travel, amplitude, frequency and time period, characteristics of sound, sound produced by human, how does the human ear perceive sounds, noise in music, noise pollution. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in this chapter. I have divided this chapter in two parts, part 1 and part 2. So this is the part 1 of the sound chapter. Clear? The topics which we are going to cover in this part are: number 1, how is sound produced? Number 2, sound needs a medium to travel. Number 3, amplitude, frequency and time period. Number 4, characteristics of sound. Clear? So in this part we are going to cover these 4 topics of chapter sound. So let us start. See, we all know that sound plays an important role in our life. Clear? When you hear the knocking of the door, you come to know that someone is at door, isn't it? The horn of the vehicle or the bell of the cycle warn us if we are walking on the road or if we are too close to a vehicle. Sound is even more helpful in dark. By hearing the voice of person, you can guess whether you know that person or not. These are the very day-to-day life example which you can easily observe in your life. So with these example, we can say that sound plays very important role in our life. If there is no sound, it is very difficult to survive in our life. Clear? So you hear many sounds in your surrounding, isn't it? What type sounds? Like doorbell of your house, honking of vehicles, your favorite song on the radio, etc. These all are the types of sound which you can easily hear around your surrounding. Now our question is, how sound produced and what do you mean by sound? Sound is a form of energy produced by vibration. See the first point. Sound is a form of energy produced by vibration. Now sound plays. What do you mean by vibration now? First tell me. What do you mean by vibration? See, the rapid back and forth. The rapid back and forth like this. If there is a spring, if you will play this swing, the string will do like this, rapid like this. This string will go here and then come here, then come here and then come here. This is known as back forth motion. This is known as your back forth motion. So what do you mean by vibration? The rapid back forth movement of a body about its mean position is called vibration. Basically, your sound is a form of energy produced by vibration. Sound plays an important part in our daily lives. We all know that. I told you this earlier. It helps us to communicate with each other. We hear a wide variety of sounds in our surrounding. Clear? And how sound is produced? I told you sound is produced by a vibrating body. Sound is produced by a vibrating body. So, what do you mean by vibration? Vibration is the to and fro or back and forth motion of an object. What do you mean by vibration? Vibration is to and fro or back and forth. motion of an object. I told you what is a back and forth motion. Yes, if an object moves from its moon position back and forth, that type of motion is known as your back and forth motion. Clear? Now, what are the example of sound? If you strike a school bell, this is your school bell. If you will strike it, it vibrates and produce sound. You can see in the first picture. In first picture, what is there? A school bell is there. If you will strike the school bell, it vibrates and it will produce sound. In second picture, what you are able to see? You are able to see a plug of a stretched rubber band. If you will stretch a rubber band, it vibrates and produce sound. In third, if you beat a drum, it's stretched and membrane vibrates and produce sound. If you blow a bugle, the air column vibrates and produce sound. So these are the example of sound. These are the example of those objects which produce sound when you will strike it. When you will strike it, it will vibrate and it will produce sound. I think with this, sound is clear to you. I am reading this once more. Please listen carefully. What do you mean by sound? Sound is a form of energy produced by vibration. Sound is a form of energy produced by vibration. Now, sound plays an important role in our daily lives. It helps us to communicate with each other. We hear a wide variety of sounds in our surrounding. Sound is produced by vibrating body. Vibration is a to and fro or back and forth motion of an object. If you strike a school bell, it vibrates and produces sound. If you pluck a stretched rubber band, it vibrates and produces sound. If you beat a drum, its stretched membrane vibrates and produces sound. If you blow a bugle, the air column vibrates and produces sound. I think with this slide is very clear to you. Shall we move ahead? Now, this is the activity which you can perform at your home. So, what you have to do for this, you have to put your finger on your neck. Clear? And you have to say aha as loud you can. Clear? Instead of aha, if you can say anything, you can say. Now, first you will say it as soft as you can. That means first you have to say slowly. Now, you cannot only hear the sound, but you can feel the vibration inside the throat. You have already observed that when you are talking, when you are saying something, if you will touch your neck or your throat, there you will see some vibration should be there. Because of this vibration, the sound is able to come out. Clear? This activity you have to perform at your home. Clear? Now, this is your some musical instrument which produce sound on vibrating. These are the some musical instrument which produce sound on vibrating. Clear? Now, production of sound by musical instrument. Different type of musical instruments are there. Now, all the music instrument will produce different type of sound. Clear? So, we are going to study which type of instrument produce which type of sound. Number first point is production of sound. Musical instrument depends upon the type of the instrument. I told you this earlier. Now, that production of sound, whatever sound will produce by the musical instrument, it is totally depend upon the type of instrument. Clear? There are 4 types. Basically, there are 4 types. Number 1, woodwind. Number 2, string. Number 3, percussion. Number 4, brass. These all are the types of instrument. Now we are going to study each instrument little bit in a detail. So are you ready? Start. Number 1, woodwinds instrument. So which instruments come under woodwinds instrument? For example, your flute, oboe, clarinet, piccolo, basso. These all are the instrument which unders woodwinds instrument. So woodwind instrument make music by blowing on the top. How they will produce sound? If you will blow from the top. Clear? So woodwind instruments are those instruments which produce sound when you will blow from the top. Clear? Next one is string instrument. Next one is string instrument. String instrument make music by plugging or strumming. Strumming means jhankar, that's string. Example, violin, cello, guitar, electrical guitar, harp. These all are the string instruments which produce sound by plucking or strumming the string. By plucking or strumming the string. I think with this string instrument is very clear to you. Shall we move ahead? Okay. So let's move to next slide. Percussion instrument. Next is percussion instrument. Percussion instrument make music by striking, shaking and scraping. What do you mean by scraping? Khurachna, them. Now percussion instrument, how they will produce sound? They will produce sound by striking. How drum will produce sound? When that stick beats strike the drum. Clear? So if you want percussion as a sound, what you will do? You will yes, either strike or shake or scrap the instrument. Example, piano, xylophone, cymbals, tambourina, macaris. These all are the types of instrument which will produce percussion. Clear? Shall we move ahead? Brass instrument. What is there? Brass instrument. Brass instrument make music by buzzing, binbinahat, clips while blowing. Clear? So these are the brass instrument. For example, your French horn, trumpet, trombone, tuba. These all are the instrument which produce brass type of sound. Clear? Musical instrument. Some musical instrument produce sound when they are beaten or struck. For example, your bell, crumbles. Clear? This is your matka, yours you can say tabla, manzira, jal tarang, etc. These all are those type of instrument which will produce when we will strike it. I think with this musical instrument is clear to you. Okay, now propagation of sound. Propagation of sound means what it means? It means why sounds need medium. Sound requires a medium to propagate. That means sound requires medium to travel. Now listen carefully. You can hear the sound of bell that has rang outside the room. Clear? A person swimming in the pond or a river can hear the voice of a person shouting outside the pond. Sometimes we can also hear the sound of two people talking in a closed room through a wooden door. We are able to hear the sound produced from different sources because sounds travel through the medium and reaches our ear. If sound will not travel from the medium, we are not able to hear anything. Clear? Can a person standing on the moon hear the sound of an explosion that take place at some distance on moon? Tell me fast. No. Why? Because in moon there is no vacuum. Clear? There is no air. Vacuum is there. So in moon we are not able to hear anything. Clear? So listen carefully. So sound requires a medium to propagate. Sound travels through solid, liquid and gases. Sound does not travel in vacuum. If vacuum is there, sound will not travel. What do you mean by vacuum? There is no air. Clear? If there is no air, there is no medium. If there is no medium, sound will not travel. Example, Sound travels through the thread you can telephone. A whale listens to the reflected sound in water to locate its prey. What do you mean by prey? Shikar. We are able to listen to sound because sound travels in air. These all are the example which proves that sound can travel through solid, liquid and gas. Clear? Speed of sound. Speed of sounds depends on the electricity. Depends on two things. Number one, elasticity. Number two, density. What do you mean by elasticity? The ability of an object or material to resume its normal shape after being stretched or compressed. Sorry. Clear? The density of a medium through which it propagates. In the case of air, it also depends upon the temperature of the air. The speed of the sound through air is about 330 meter per second, and through water 1500 meter per second. That means the speed of the sound is maximum in solid, after that liquid, and minimum in gas. Clear? The speed of a sound in gas is least, and the speed of the sound in solid is maximum. Clear? See, this point I will explain later on. Just move to next one. Speed of light versus sound. You can see many times that when lightning occurs first, then after 1 or 2 seconds we are able to hear that sound. Now by this slide you will understood why. The speed of sound in air is about 330 meter per second. Sound is near about 330 meter per second. The speed of the light in is air about 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Clear? Now, speed of the light is faster than the speed of sound. Clear? That is why the thundering sounds are always heard little after seeing the flash of lightning, because the speed of light is more than the speed of sound. That's why we are able to see the light first, then we are able to hear that voice. Both lightning and thunder occurring together, they occur together, but because of that speed, light reaches first and after that sound. I think with this everything is clear to you. Shall we move ahead? Okay. So to show sound travels through solid, how you will show? See, please place one of your ear on the here. Place will come. Place one of the ear on the table. Close the other hand. Ask friend to tap on the table. What you will observe? Are you able to hear the sound? Yes, you will able to hear the sound. With this activity, you can say that, and this activity proves that sound can travel through solid. This activity proves that sound can travel through solids. Clear? These activities very easy. You can perform very easily at your home, and if you will do it, the chapter will more clear to you. Clear? Now our next activity is based on, you will show that sound can travel through liquids. Sound can travel through liquids. Take a bathtub, fill it with water. What you have to do? You have to take a bathtub, and that bathtub you have to fill with water. Hold a bell in one hand and put it inside the water. Shake the bell inside the water. Note the bell should not touch the body of the bathtub. Clear? Please place your ear gently on the water surface. Clear? You will able to hear the bell ring. So why? Because your sound can travel through medium also. With this activity, we can prove that sound can travel through liquids also. Sound can travel through liquid also. Clear? Now you have to show that sound travels faster through solid than air. You have to take 2 ice cream cups. Connect them using long thread. Place 1 cup near your ear and ask your friend to speak into the other cup. You will able to hear him. If you replace the thread with a hollow tube, you will be able to hear him more clearly. This proves that sound travels faster solid than through air. So these are the very simple activity which you can perform at your home and observe the result. Clear? Now vibration and oscillation. What do you mean by vibration? We have already done vibration. Vibration is the to and fro or a back and forth motion of an object. Vibration is also called as your oscillatory motion. Clear? Vibration is also known as your oscillatory motion. For example, this is a pendulum. If you will make a motion, how it will move? It will come from A, then its mean position, then B, from B again its mean position, then A. This type of motion is known as your to and fro, or you can say that back and forth. Clear? The motion of the pendulum from the one extreme position to other extreme position and back is called as your oscillation. This whole motion is known as your oscillation. Clear? Now there are 3 characteristics of sound. Number 1, frequency. Number 2, amplitude. Number 3, same thing is there, amplitude. Number 3, time period. Clear? What are the characteristics of sound? Frequency, amplitude and time period. Frequency of sound wave. The number of oscillation per second. Number of oscillation per second is called frequency. Clear? That means in 1 second, jitne bhi baar that pendulum will start from A and it will reach B, then again A in 1 second. Clear? That is known as your frequency. Frequency is the number of oscillation per second is called frequency. It is represented by like this, nu. It is similar to V, but it is like this. It is nu and it is called as nu. The unit of frequency is hertz. The unit of frequency is hertz. And how it's represented? H capital Z small. Clear? I am reading the slides once more. Listen carefully. The number of oscillation per second is called frequency. It is represented by the symbol nu and it is your Greek word. The unit of frequency is hertz. The unit of frequency is hertz. Clear? Amplitude of the sound wave, and second is your amplitude. The maximum displacement of an oscillating body from its central position is called amplitude. So, see, sound travels in the form of wave. Like this. Clear? So, the maximum displacement means from, yes, initial position to its, yes, to its final position is known as a displacement. The amplitude of the sound wave is the height of the crust and trough. This is your crust and this is your trough. The upper part is known as your crust and the lower part is known as your trough. Clear? So this is known as your amplitude. Clear? This is known as your amplitude. The SI unit is the same as that of density or pressure, that is Pascal. Clear? Now next one is time period of sound wave. The time taken for one oscillation is called time period. Whatever time is taken by completing one oscillation is known as your time period. It is represented by capital T. It is represented by capital T. The SI unit is second. The SI unit is second. The frequency and times are represented as follows. T is equal to 1 upon nu. That means T is equal to 1 upon frequency. This is the formula. Clear? Shall we move ahead? Characteristics of sound. Pitch, loudness and quality. What are the characteristics of sound? Pitch, loudness and quality. Now, we all know that sound has low sound and high sound. Clear? So, pitch is the first characteristics of a sound. Clear? Because it helps us in a distinguish between a shrill sound or from a grave sound. It will tell you about what? Whether your sound is low or high. The pitch sound is a shrillness or flatness depends on the frequency of the vibration. If the frequency is high, the sound has high pitch. If the frequency is high, the sound has high pitch. And the frequency is low, the sound has low pitch. Is it clear to you? Now, high pitch means high frequency. Low pitch means low frequency. High pitch means high frequency. Low pitch means low frequency. Is it clear? Now, loudness and pitch of the sound. The loudness is a second you can say that characteristic of sound. The loudness of sound depends upon the amplitude of the vibration. In previous slide, what we have done, we have studied that pitch depends upon the frequency, and in this slide we have studied that your loudness depends upon the pitch. So the loudness of sound depends upon amplitude of the vibration. If the amplitude is less, then the sound is feeble, that means slow. And if the amplitude is more, then sound is loud. The unit of loudness is decibel. That means small d and capital B. It is decibel. It is decibel. It is decibel. The pitch of sound depends upon the frequency of vibration. The pitch of sound depends upon the frequency of vibration. If the frequency is less, the sound has low pitch. I told you this thing. Sound of a drum, sound of an adult, etc. If the frequency is more, then sound has high pitch. Example, sound of a whistle, sound of a baby, etc. Clear? I think with this, loudness and pitch is clear to you. Okay. Now, what is the difference between loudness and pitch? Number 1. It depends on the amplitude of the vibrating body, and pitch depends upon the frequency. Your loudness depends upon the amplitude and your pitch depends upon the frequency. It does not change with frequency because it does not depend on frequency. It changes with frequency. Clear? The third point, it is determined by the amount of sound energy received by ear in unit time. It does not depend upon the amount of energy received by the ear. So these are the differences between loudness and pitch. I think with this, everything is very clear to you. Now, our last characteristic, it is quality. Our last characteristic is quality. It is the third characteristics of sound. It is the third characteristics of sound that enable us to distinguish between two sounds of the same pitch and loudness produced by the different sources. By knowing the quality, you can identify the difference between the sound. Clear? So these all are the characteristics of sound. I think with this, the part 1 of sound is very clear to you. Okay, thank you. Please study thoroughly because MCQs will come, some picture based observation will come, activity based question will come. So please study carefully. And if you are having any doubt, you can call me, you can message me. I will solve your query. Thank you and Sairam.